All right, everyone, let's talk about something interesting that happened to me today. So, I uncovered another personality within myself that has always kind of been there, but I wasn't aware of until now. So, I'll give you context. I am schizophrenic, and I've been diagnosed with schizophrenia and different disorders related to schizophrenia, like anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, things like that. I've never been diagnosed with multiple personality disorder or anything like that because I never shared with psychiatrists or nurses or anybody, except for people that weren't in the medical field. My different personalities, how I perceive them, how they interact with the world, and their kind of relations of dominance within myself. So today, I felt like I was under spiritual attack. Now, what does that mean? What does that feel like? So I was going about my job, going about my work day, and then all of a sudden I started to feel a severe drain of energy, of really energy, strength, and just a sapping of everything that keeps us upright, and emotionally, constitutionally, and in every other way. And I was like, okay, this really feels like an energy attack. So, being somebody who understands psychic vampirism and different methods and how to use it and what it feels like to draw from somebody or put into somebody, anything like that, I definitely identified that I was under attack. So what I did was, which I actually don't need to do anything physically, even though I use my breath, kind of, but it's more of my sense of feeling, to put up a shield. I'm not going to explain what my shield looks like because I don't want anybody to exactly know what that shield looks like. So I put up my shield, and something interesting happened. There was this snake entity in the center of the shield, which I usually don't visualize, or a visualization and a feeling at the center of this shield, which is it's supposed to be me, and it's not necessarily how I look on the outside, but the way my soul looks. I know how my soul looks, and that's what I place at the center of the shield. But something else was like, hey, this aspect is going to work way better. So there was this cobra serpent at the center of the shield, and had snake-like rhythms, and I kind of did my energy in those snake-like rhythms. I tapped into the part of us that is kind of like a reptile, and uh, it synced with the shield almost immediately. And then I felt empowered, I felt stronger, I felt more energetic. I felt like not only was I protected, but I was more powerful, I was more strong, secure. um, this isn't something that I got from somebody else. It's something that just happened to me, and it feels like a very Loki oriented um, energy, because I know Loki's energy, and it's very Lokian, if you will. But I would like to say that, well, before I go to that, I suppose the word that popped into my mind, exactly what this thing is called, as far as it being a part of me, is scorpion. And now you would think that a snake's not really a scorpion, but the energy of a scorpion is what this entity, this part of myself, wanted to be called. And now I know it's a part of myself because it's always kind of been there. It's not something completely new. I just haven't really, I hadn't identified it yet or figured out its exact energy or how to communicate with it, but this was definitely within me already. Um, so in your life, whether you don't have to have multiple personality disorder or schizophrenia, um, there's parts of ourselves that remain dormant for a long time that can not be identified even for an entire person's life, for their entire spiritual path, even if they're on a spiritual path. Um, I think that me tuning into this at this time was because it knew that it was needed. It was always in reserve, but it knew that it was needed now for whatever reason. And that can always be true about different parts of ourselves as we grow older, as we go along the path. Age isn't necessarily the indicator as much as the path is moving along your path. But there's a lot in our subconscious that is magical. the energy in our subconscious, the manifestations, the entities in our subconscious that are a part of us are powerful. And most of us do not reveal them. Most of the time, they do not even reveal themselves. But there's a lot of power within you. There's a lot of defense mechanisms. There's a lot of pieces of yourself that either you have not uncovered or have not shown themselves. So I think my message, based on what I learned today, because I don't want to go into the exact details, because I would not recommend giving anybody the exact details of your shield that you use to defend against other magical attack or energy attack or prana attack. So I'm not going to go into the details of that, but I will say that shields like the one I'm talking about, they don't need to be something that you meditate and form. Now, originally, when you're first starting a magical shield, it's good to meditate. View yourself as being at the center of an oval, and then the oval is pulsing with whatever light as you breathe in and out. And then you picture things coming at it and then bouncing off. That's a good first step. But that's in the original forming of the shield. But once you have a feeling for it, you can basically just do it at any time, just by expanding that feeling within yourself. So you're going to come under a variety of attacks. You're going to be attacked spiritually, energetically, whether you know it or not. It's always good to develop a shield technique. Energy shield, prana shield. There's a lot of different words for it. But it's good to develop a shield technique so that when nothing else can protect you and your essence, at least that can. And people can't force you to give them energy. So be very careful with what you share on your own shield. Be very meticulous on forming your own magical shield and what it feels like, what color, and you just look back to that visualization within. And then once you develop it for a time, all you have to do is do that visualization, not even with your eyes closed. I do it with my eyes open, and I barely use my breath, but that feeling I just put around me. Yes, there's a number of ways that other people can be intrusive into your life, literally, into your literal life energy. So develop this shield technique. If you need any questions, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, shoot them down in the comment section below. I can't talk about my own shield, but I can give advice on how you can create your own shield. And honestly, it's a long road to understand how to defend yourself magically, energetically, from the kind of attacks that you might get directed towards you, especially if you piss off a lot of people, which I seem to accidentally do sometimes. Yeah, it's funny because due to schizophrenia, I don't really know exactly when is the right amount of pushing somebody, or what is a joke, or what somebody means sometimes. I can feel their energy, but the mind, not necessarily the emotions, but the mind, the person communicating, is not always one with their energy. So that's something that you have to deal with. It's not something that, even if you read somebody's energy, you don't always glean what their thought process is. So you have to be very careful. And you have to be resolute and not focus too much on what you want to say, but more what should be said. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope that this makes sense to some of you. And honestly, I hope that you have a wonderful day and you gain these defenses for yourself.